Let's start with the definition of technology. Technology is the set of knowledge, skills, experience, and techniques through which human change, transform, and utilize his own environment to create materials and products that can satisfy his needs. Technology existed already during the Stone Age, where our ancestors discovered the presence of various tools and materials that can be developed and utilized for their hand-to-mouth existence. If science explores for the purpose of knowing, technology explores for the purpose of making something useful from the knowledge. This premise leads why human change and transform his surroundings just to create a tool by his skill and knowledge, and thus allows him to hunt for animals quickly and effectively. Today, modern humans are reliant to technology in their search for good life. The essence of technology was discussed by Martin Heidegger. He is recognized as one of the great thinkers of the 20th century. In 1927, his masterwork, Being and Time, along with The Essence of Truth, he had developed his own way of describing the nature of existence. He also argued that the world is full of beings, numbers, oceans, mountains, animals, but human beings are the only ones who care about what it means to be themselves and to take a stand on what it means to exist. Heidegger states that the essence of technology is no means anything technological. He means that technology's driving force is not located in machines themselves, nor in human activities that are associated with production. The essence of technology can be captured in his work, The Question Concerning Technology, where he explains the two widely accepted definitions of technology. Technology is a means to an end. Technology in this context is not an end in itself, but rather refers to the manufacture and utilization of equipment, tools, and machines, and how this serves the individuals, groups, and communities based on their collective goals, functions, and aspirations. In short, how humans use these technologies as an instrument in getting things done faster and easier. Technology is defined as human activity. From the word anthropological, it means human society. Humans produce and invent technological equipment, tools, and machines because of the benefits and advantages that this technology can provide to the society. However, these two definitions of technology, instrumental and anthropological, according to Heidegger, are indeed correct, but not yet true. The machinery of technology is realm of truth. The word technology comes from the Greek word technikon, which belongs to the stem word techne, which refers to the craft and artistic activities and other acts of mind and poetry. Heidegger thinks that there is something about modern technology and that it reveals a challenging or antagonistic matter. Modern technology extracts from nature to store its energy, while primitive form of technology generates energy through an engagement from nature, but do not take away. Bringing forth is the proper attitude with regards to the utilization of technology in the relation to nature. We look at materials in nature with essence and beauty. Example is how the craftsmen utilize their tools as a chisel and hammer to transform and reveal the essence of beauty and the object they are molding. Again, these craftsmen did not manufacture or produce materials or product from this object, rather they reveal and maintain the essence and dignity of the object they are molding and shaping. The challenging forth, on the other hand, is the most prevalent attitude towards technology today, and is being considered as the improper one. We look at materials as merely no meaning. So if we try to look at the forest, we don't see trees. Rather, we see other potential use and profit of this forest as source of many lumber products ready to be utilized in the market. In short, challenging forth attitude is viewed as materialistic, and this could lead to endangered and extinction of natural resources. Let us not forget that technology is a means of fulfilling the needs of the generation, while we respect also the needs of the nature. Consider the environmental disasters that encountered in the present time are due to challenging forth. These physical disasters are merely symptoms of a larger problem that is brought either by direct or indirect disrespect to our mother nature. If the essence of technology can be understood as a way of bringing forth in the sense of poiesis, Heidegger distinguished the way of revealing of modern technology by considering it as a process of enframing. Enframing, according to Heidegger, is viewed based on the two schools of thoughts, the calculative thinking and the meditative thinking. Calculative thinking is a kind of thought in which people gather information and put it together in order to place it to some specific use. This kind of thinking is always in use and active and tends to be more utilized because of man's desire to control nature without thinking and possible consequences. On the other hand, meditative thinking involves something deeper than practical calculation. It tells us why we should do or should not to do a thing. This kind of thought allows human to reveal and understand the nature without the use of violence and force. If you allow yourselves to be swallowed by the modern technology, you will lose the essence of who you are as beings of this world. In today's world, many of us rely on social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, and Instagram to find and connect with each other. However, there are pressing issues such as privacy, proliferation of fake news, and cyberbullying, among others. These kinds of technology benefit the society, but let us not forget its drawbacks also. The real threat of technology comes from its essence and not on its products and activities. The correct attitude and response on these technologies is not dismissing or detaching from these technologies, but according to Heidegger, by regarding these technologies as something neutral. Heidegger identifies the dangers of this modern technology and how art can be antidote for these present threats and danger. He is also concerned about the modern technology and the potential effects of blinding humanity from seeing the truth and letting humans see the world as full of resources. If you were born after 1995, then you won't remember life before the internet. Being connected through smartphones and social media is now just a part of growing up for many children and adolescents. Most of them have positive experiences online, but there are risks involved, including whether the excessive use of social media can ultimately harm their mental health. Research in this area is still in its early stages, but the significance of the social media in the lives of many young people is clear. It is no secret that social media platforms were deliberately designed to hold users' attention as long as possible. Tapping into psychological biases and vulnerabilities relating to our desire for validation and fear of rejection, too much passive use of social media, just browsing posts, can be unhealthy and has been linked to feelings of envy, inadequacy, and less satisfaction with life. Studies have even suggested that it can lead to ADHD symptoms, depression, anxiety, and sleep deprivation. Many governments, sociologists, and psychologists have also expressed concerns that children today are spending too much time interacting with their phones and missing out on the important social experiences. The feelings triggered by a like can temporarily relieve feelings of loneliness, but they cannot replace socializing altogether. When adolescents who feel lonely offline use social media to compensate for less developed social skills, they may end up feeling even lonelier in the long run. The meaningful relationships we build face to face through both verbal and nonverbal cues are a deep and lasting source of personal satisfaction and happiness. An emoji or an LOL can elicit superficial feelings of connection, but face-to-face communication builds more meaningful bonds through body language, touch, and facial expressions, along with the interpretation of feelings through tone and nuance, all things that are often lost in the digital world. Adolescents often speak online to people they have existing relationships with offline. In moderation, using social media in this way allows teens to keep in touch with friends, classmates, and relatives and can potentially improve their offline relationships. But it can become problematic if talking online comes to dominate all social interaction, or in the case of excessive passive browsing, when teens are consuming more information than they are engaging with. Insecurities are easily exacerbated by peers on social media. Bullies can disseminate violent, hurtful, and humiliating words and images with the tap of a key. Though the violence may be perpetrated digitally, the repercussions are tangible. Research shows that victims of cyberbullying are more likely to use alcohol and drugs and skip school than other students. They also are more likely to receive poor grades and experience low self-esteem and health problems. In extreme situations, cyberbullying has led to suicide. Building healthy social media habits is crucial to avoiding potential mental health risks. Usage should be moderate and balanced with the real social time with family and friends. Deciding how much is too much inevitably depends on the individual's age, character traits, and culture they are living in. However, the influence of the content adolescents encounter and the activities they participate in online are more important than actual time spent online. Instead of using social media for the kind of public broadcasting and passive browsing that may lead them to compare likes, it may be more beneficial to use it to reinforce relationships by having more one-on-one interactions with close friends through comments and messaging. While adults rightly worry about the implication of excessive social media use, adolescents have a right to have their voices heard in matters that concern them. But they are rarely consulted in these debates. Teens' own voices and experiences are important to guide emerging policy and practice. After all, young people often have more expertise with these technologies and grew up with them as their major form of communication, entertainment, and information. As both the drivers and benefactors of the social media revolution, tech companies and designers should offer a range of user-friendly tools that help parents create age-appropriate environments. They could also change the design to create an environment that is conducive to more meaningful conversation and less browsing and liking. While it may go against their financial incentives, a more ethical design would go a long way toward helping teens build healthier social media habits.